Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are going to be doing a little traditional drawing. I haven't done this in a while because I've been kind of on this binge of doing digital illustrations, so I decided to hop back on the markers and colored pencils. So I sped up the first part of the video, which is normally me just doing the sketch, mostly because it just literally has a lot of slow motion, and I just decided, well, that's slow, I just do it like really slow. So here on the rest of the video, I'm doing it more real time, except when I do colored pencils. On the colored pencils, I did speed it up a little bit so it wouldn't be tedious to watch, and I hope you guys enjoy that. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this image. I think I posted it a few months ago. Don't remember what the date is specifically, but I did post it a few months ago, and it was one of my training drawings with my new markers, and I actually love this, and I'm actually going back into the markers again, so hopefully I'll be getting more marker videos. I'm just really sketching a lot these days because I want to always have content on my channel, and also because I haven't been 100% consistent, so I'm trying to keep up the consistency, so with more sketches, more videos. And if you guys don't know, I'm also doing, well, basically I'm also going to start streaming. I'm just setting the things up, and I'm going to be streaming as well. I don't know if I'm going to stream traditional drawings, like by me working traditionally. I don't know if I'm going to stream that yet. I still have to see, but besides that, I am going to be working mostly on digital, and later on, hopefully, I'll be doing traditional art for you guys. So I'm using the Cis Duo Graf alcohol markers, and I'm actually having a pretty good time on this one. I love sitting down and working on traditional when I can't take looking at the computer anymore, so I'd probably put on like a movie, or I'll just put on a podcast, or sometimes I'll watch like D&D. So I really just go about just relaxing while I'm doing this, and I find it actually to be very fun. I know you can't see a lot of the details right now because my hand's a bit covering it. It's mostly because my camera, I recorded this one on my webcam at the moment. Now I'm recording most of the stuff on my phone, because if you guys haven't seen one of my videos, I talk about how I discovered that my phone has a really good camera, so I decided to do that. And one thing that I discovered with these alcohol markers is that I have to let the ink dry, for the fact that they normally change color after the ink dries. So when I started doing this, I really didn't know that, and I always used to think and be like, oh my god, it's like so light, or it's literally transparent, and I didn't end up liking it, so I ended up putting another layer on top. But I normally do end up fixing a lot of this with the fact that I normally use colored pencils to literally just do most of the highlights. I actually like adding the colored pencils afterwards to just give it more life and do the finishing touches the way I liked it. I decided to do this drawing mostly because, one, I love vampires. If you guys don't know, I am a huge vampire fan, so I decided to draw this vampire, and she's actually the first of a series that I'm trying to put up, and it will probably have more. Actually, I drew her first, and then I drew another vampire, which I will be posting next week digitally. So we have 2 of my vampire series. So she's the first one that I drew, and I wanted this cozy I'm by myself midnight wine moment, just chilling with just being my ultimate self. And I decided to make her hair like super long. I don't know why, I just had this weird urge to just make her hair super long, like she was a Powerpuff Girl or something. No, I was not watching the Powerpuff Girls, but I did have that sort of idea. And one thing I didn't really like about the way I colored in this illustration was the fact that I was kind of scared of using darker colors, and I ended up making a couple of things too dark and others not dark enough, and I didn't really like that. But since I was still getting the hang of using the markers, I was okay with that. Yeah, so I just came about, I wanted something cute, but also a bit sexy. We can be sexy. And I went with something that I would technically wear, which is this little cheerleader jacket. I just love these. And a little crop top with a skirt. Normally I don't actually use short on short. I actually have this thing where if I'm using something short, I will always complement with something a bit more, like a bit longer, a bit more comfortable, like even everything out. But when I did this illustration, I was just like, you know what, I'm just going all out. She's very sexy vampire, very confident with herself, and she could wear whatever she wants, so I just decided to do that. Yeah, so I just went in and I colored most of the things. While I did this illustration, I was already thinking about my vampire series, which I told you guys that I'm working on, and she's the first one that I'm doing. You guys can see the finished version of it on my Instagram, and I also have another one which is also on my Instagram. So if you guys don't follow me here, I do post a lot of my art, and also a couple of the art that I haven't posted yet I also post there. And I also decided just to go in with the series. I'm actually planning on 2 series, and the first one is this one, and I already have 2, and I already have one that I've kind of already done a little sketch of. So I'm probably going to do her traditionally as well. I just have to, and it's probably going to be, I'm probably going to either use markers and colored pencils, or I'm going to buy watercolor paper and just use watercolor or gouache. I'm still thinking about that part, but I do want to do a little bit of digital and traditional, and using both mediums. I drew this entire illustration on paper, and then I normally don't use the sketch that I do first. I don't just go over it, clean it out, and then use that. I normally leave the original sketch because if I mess something up, I can always fix it, like just start over. If I don't like something, I could just fix it whilst I'm going over and cleaning the lines. So I normally don't use that for my finished drawing. So here I'm already putting in a little bit of details on the glass of wine. I didn't really like the color I picked for the glass of wine, but afterwards when I saw like exactly kind of how I wanted the lighting, like the light of the moon is like hitting the glass. Well, actually it's not a glass of wine. She's a vampire. She doesn't drink wine, but anyway. But anyway, I just decided to put her with this little glass and just appreciating the moment. And I just loved the pose and how everything just kind of fit in with each other, like it complemented each other. I wasn't all out for the color that I chose for her hair, but I'm on a vibe where I don't want to do like traditionally normal hair. I actually just want to try like more vibrant colors, more different, just sticking to something a bit different, not going 100% what I normally do, which would either be like a redhead or brunette, sometimes even a blonde. So I just wanted to do something a bit off, and I've actually liked the fact that I'm experimenting with the fact that I'm using other colors to do the hair. When I actually start rendering the hair, I normally just use the same steps I normally do. And one thing I have told myself is that I will not be doing any highlights or just making any rough details on the hair with the markers, because I end up seeing that it kind of gets too dark and I kind of end up not liking it that much. And I honestly don't know why I didn't just start this illustration from scratch. I think it's because I was just vibing the colors. I was just vibing the entire look, and I just went with it, I guess. It was just fun to do, and I just went with it. And I think that's why I just left everything the way it was. And I only did some additional editing with the actual illustration with the colored pencils. Well, not editing. I kind of fixed the things I didn't like with the color pencils. Mostly it was just that. I fixed what I didn't like with the colored pencils. Excuse my a bit of my weak voice. For the past few days, I haven't been like 100% under the weather, but my throat has been telling me that, yeah, we have to do something or else we're definitely going to be under the weather, and I did not want to get sick. Especially for the fact that Sunday is my birthday, so that would be a complete bummer. So I didn't really want to do that at all, and I'm already taking a bit like precautions for that. And it's really hard because it is summer here in Rio. Even though it's raining a lot, when it's not raining, it's like so hot. And it just drives me mad. Like right now well, I'm recording this a bit late, So right now it's like 26 degrees, but during the day it's like normally 30, 31. There are days that it goes like to 36. So yeah, it's just that constant weather. So yeah, now I'm adding little details. I'm working up on figuring out how transparency works with markers, and I don't think I passed 100% on this drawing, but I will eventually figure out. And I can literally tell you that after I started adding a bit of the shadows on the illustration like I'm doing now, I kind of started liking it a bit more, and I really liked it. I had a little incident when I was trying to think on the background. I really didn't know what color to make the background because I didn't want it to be so dark, and I also didn't want it to be so light, and it just, my mind was all over the place on how I was actually gonna do this. The actual drawing, when I start adding a bit of the shadows, you can actually see that she has freckles. That's one thing I like adding on my drawings, is the freckles. I really enjoy that. I find it really fun to do, just to add some tiny little freckles. I'm obsessed with freckles, so yeah. Yeah. Long story short, I really like freckles. But either way, I just went overboard and just started adding like a whole bunch of details with the colored pencils just to render it a bit more and give it more life. But in the overall, I really liked it. One thing I did not like was how I colored in the moon. I had no clue what I was doing. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This was the first time I was using markers to do something a bit more creative, because I would have done this entire thing in colored pencils, and it would have taken me way longer than I normally do, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. And if you guys haven't already heard from me saying this, these markers are like 100% childproof. You take so long to try and open these markers, and I literally got so much paint on my hand. What I'm doing right now is just this crazy idea I had of mixing two colors, one with each other, and making like a completely different color that I did not have. It kind of ended up not going that well on the other side because I think there was too much ink. But I did end up fixing that somehow. But I did fix that. And I still like the end result, so it was actually pretty fun, and I learned something new with literally mixing the colors up. It was actually pretty pretty. It was actually pretty pretty. It was actually pretty. What would my videos be if I didn't invent an English word? But either that, I still really loved this drawing so much. I just love everything about the composition, about how I used the lighting, how I didn't want it to be so dark, even though she is like just in the light of the moon. I wanted it to be a bit more magical. I wanted her to have more life as well. So I was really enjoying this. I used that magenta pencil to make her skin pop out a little bit. I thought it was kind of too flat, and I didn't just want to go over with a red pen, so I kind of took a magenta and then I just popped out the little bit of the colors, especially on the shadows. So yeah, I actually had really fun with that. So here I'm just literally doing the background. As I said, I took a while to figure out what I was going to do because I didn't really I realized at that moment that I made the curtains blue and the background was also blue. So I kind of needed to think about how I was going to change this up. And I kind of did. I used the same colors as the shirt, I believe, and I kind of changed the background. And instead of it being blue, it kind of ended up becoming a little purple because I used colored pencils as well to blend that in. And it ended up becoming this like purpley sky. And I actually liked it. So one thing I realized that since I started using markers, I try not to smudge the markers, but I'm still getting the hang of it. And I literally just had no clue what I was doing in the background. I was like literally this learning experience of how I could use this marker without smudging it so much, but eventually I do get the hang of it. Other drawings that I have done, it actually became better, and I'm just, the whole practice makes perfect, and I love that whole experience of just learning something new and just going with it, and just learning everything that I can about it. So, like I said, I use the pink to kind of give a little bit more depth to the actual the curtains, and I also just started going crazy with the colored pencils. At first, her crop top, I thought it was blending in too much with her shirt, with like her skin tone, and then after I added the colored pencils, it kind of looked like way better. And just adding the details with the colored pencil just makes everything work and flow so much better. It's weird, it's crazy, but it's so fun. And I really enjoyed this. It was actually really good. And as usual, I will leave you guys to enjoy the rest of the video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to follow me on my social media. And I will see you guys next week for more amazing illustrations and learning. Bye, guys.